So we have completed already the two chapters. That is the first one, crop production and management. The second one, microorganism, friends and foe. So the third lesson is related to your chemistry topic. So that is nothing but synthetic fibers and plastics. So in your previous classes, you have studied already the fibers, that is the natural fibers and artificial fibers. So how we can identify? So natural and the synthetic fibers. When you burn the natural fibers, so the smell. So when you burn the hair, the same smell will come when you burn the natural fibers. For example, the cotton cloth. So if you burn, no need to burn at home or no need to do any experiments at home. Be careful. So when you will burn the natural fibers, it gives the different smell and the ashes will get. So but when you burn the synthetic fibers, so the total structure is different. So what is that? So we already have studied which are the natural fibers, how it will be turned into an thread will turn into an cloth, etc. So all we know that, so everything about natural fibers. So that is nothing but the weaving machines or the spinning, etc. So giving color to a cloth, it is called dyeing. All these you have studied in your previous class. Now let us study one more step higher in this chapter, that is called synthetic fibers and plastics. So we know that what we are wearing, cloth, is nothing but, so maximum it is prepared with the natural fibers. So before knowing natural fibers, let us know the term called fibers. Fibers, a thread or a filament from which a vegetable tissues, mineral substances, a textile is formed. Fibers is a thread-like or a filament. Each one, for example, if I take the thread, so if I take the thread, so this is nothing but a thread. It is a cotton thread. So like this, many filaments will join. So then it will form. So that is called the fibers. This is just a fiber, a thread. So like this, many if you join, you will get the cloth. So now fibers, a thread-like filament from which a thread-like filament. This is a thread-like structure. It is a thread already. It's a thread. Or like a filament from which a vegetable tissues, mineral substance or textile is formed. Different types of fibers are there. So that is major two. It is classified into natural fibers and artificial fibers. As I said, you have studied already in your previous class, that is about fibers, cloth, etc. Natural fibers are the fibers are produced by plants. Produced by plants. I'll take few examples. Plants, examples like jute, hemp, main plant we know that is called cotton, banana, and coir prepared by coconut. So all these coconut, husk of the coconut will prepare the coir or a thread or a rope, etc. Jute, hemp, cotton, banana and coconut. Husk of the coconut used as a preparation of the some substances, thread-like structure, that is called natural fibers. From the plant itself will get in the nature. So that is called natural fibers. And animals. Already you have studied which animals we are using to get wool, silk, etc. For example, sheep, goat and also silkworm are used to prepare some of the natural fibers. And geological process. Biologically, in my body or in our body, so there is a structure, thread-like structures are present, DNA. So it is related to biological processes. So all included in natural fibers. And whichever component we are eating, fibers component is present in some of the vegetables. So we get high amount of fibers from some food items. So all these are called natural fibers. Fibers are produced by plants and animals, and geological process is called natural fibers. Example. banana, from the banana plant. Not whatever we are edible, we are getting the fibers, but from the banana plants also we are preparing thread, jute, flax, etc. So all these in our area, especially in coastal area, the husk of the coconut, this is a coconut, the edible shell, white in structure inside and it is a brown in structure. So this brown structure, this is a coconut shell and outside this there is a thread-like structure. Maybe you are familiar with this. This is called husk of the coconut. So if you soak it in water after few days, so if you stretch and if you can prepare the threads. So that is nothing but coil. So in the preparation in the coil industry, to prepare the rope, thread, etc., we are using natural fibers. Next term for artificial or synthetic fibers, simply we can see it is man-made fiber. The fibers are produced or synthesized by artificially. So here one diagram in your textbook also, there are two diagrams. One is called the beads in a chain, another is called the paper clip. So if you join, for example, so here already I have brought, so these are the beads, we can see the beads. So these are the beads. So these are the beads. So using these beads, so whether we are preparing the chain? No. So already it is joined together. So these are the beads. So when I join the beads, observe carefully why this example given. What is artificial fibers? Artificial fibers are the fibers. So whichever it is prepared with man-made, it is prepared by man, that's why it is called man-made, and it is prepared with some unit. So each unit, if I observe, so observe the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now it is separate. So when I join together, so each bead, so each bead into the thread, so it is called a chain. But here, if I use each bead one after the another, so then if I join, same thing. So here each bead is called each subunit. This is called the subunit 1, subunit 2, subunit 3, subunit 4. Each one is called, each bead is called the subunit. So if I join, so I'll get a chain or etc. Same thing in science or in artificial preparation, artificial fiber, each beads in the chain, it is called the subunit or unit. It is called subunit. Each subunit, when it will join, it forms a structure. Each subunit is called polymer. What is polymer? Each subunit in a synthetic fiber. Synthetic fiber means it is not man-made. Using some of the natural raw material, man will prepare different types of structures. So that is especially silk. So we are replacing. So already silk is very costly. So in that case we are preparing the man-made silk or artificial silk using some chemical processes. So undergoing in the chemistry lab or maybe in a huge industry, they will mix different chemicals to get one component that is called the synthetic fibers, a thread-like structure. Here each it is made up of subunit. This subunit is called polymer. So what is synthetic fiber? The synthetic fibers are the fibers synthesized by man. So that's why it is called man-made artificially, and each unit will join systematic order. So in that systematic order, that each unit is called polymer. So synthetic fibers are made up of polymers. So we have completed already the natural fibers and artificial fibers. Let us study the three major types in synthetic fibers. The first one is rayon, second one is nylon, the third one is polyester and acrylic. Again I'll repeat, rayon, the first one, the second one is nylon, third one is polyester and acrylic. So what about rayon? So maybe the questions will come according to the questions. So why nylon is used in the parachutes, making in parachutes, etc. The next one, why we can't or maybe should avoid to wear the polyester cloth while we are in kitchen. So that is the one question. And why it is crisp and can wash easily, that is acrylic. So the first, it is called the rayon. It is a name given. So here it is a rayon. It is chemical treatment of wood pulp that will be used to prepare a synthetic fiber called rayon. So if you take the wood pulp, wood pieces, so they will undergo different chemical treatment or chemical processes. They'll add different types of chemical. So that video I'll show to you. So when the wood pulp will be used, the inside, the pulp from the wood will be used or it will undergo different chemical treatment. So then we will get one beautiful synthetic fiber, that is nothing but rayon. So why it is used or why it is discovered? So for example, in history if you observe, the silk, a natural silk is very costly. So that is used or prepared or synthesized by the silkworm. So that is a invention or discovered by China. So after that, so everyone thought to produce the same type of silk without silkworm. So they thought to undergo different types of processes or different chemical reactions. So first they introduced the wood pulp. So they undergo different chemical treatment or the chemical processes and they got exact like silk. But it is a man-made, so they gave the name called the rayon. Rayon is unlike, it is an artificial silk. It is not natural silk. If you burn both the cloth, for example silk and artificial silk, so you get a different nature here. There is nothing but artificial silk. So why we have to use and why rayon is used in maximum amount in the cloth industry? That is because cheaper than silk. It is cheaper than silk and can be woven like silk fiber. So if you identify as it is, we cannot recognize which one is a natural silk or which one is an artificial silk. So both the cost is maybe sometimes it is a more here. So the reason is it is an artificially prepared. But it is called an artificial silk. So it will be mixed with some of the cloth or the fibers. For example, rayon, if it mixed with the cotton fiber, so it will be used in the bed sheets. Whatever the bed sheets you will get. So that is nothing but rayon is mixed with the cotton fiber. If rayon is mixed with the wool, so that is used in the preparation of the carpets. Again I repeat, rayon plus cotton used in the preparation of the bed sheets, rayon plus wool is used in the carpets. So these are about synthetic fiber called rayon. The second one, it is called the nylon. So we are familiar with 1931 it is invented here. So without natural raw material, what is that? So here we have used wood pulp. Wood is a natural thing. So that's why it is used or it is prepared with a tree, etc. So that is called the natural. So it is a raw material, natural raw material, but without natural raw material, if the fibers is prepared, then that is nothing but the nylon. So it was prepared from coal and water and air. So all these mainly it is prepared with using a chemical called the coal. So in that it is of course fully synthetic fibers. So because we are not using here any natural raw material, only chemicals we are using, so that's why it is called first fully synthetic fiber. So why we are using nylon? It's very strong thread at the fiber. synthetic fiber. So it is used in a different purpose. For example, nylon thread is used in preparing of making of parachutes, etc. The thread itself strong, elastic, and it is very light in structure. So hence it is prepared in the making of clothes. So that is the first fully synthetic fibers. It's very strong. So hence it is used in the making of parachutes. Elastic in nature and it is very light. So that's why nylon cloth will be used. Now the examples where we are using where synthetic fibers like nylon will be used: socks, ropes, tents, toothbrushes, etc. It gives us strength, elastic, and so it's very strong in structure. So that's why we are using. There is a two activity in your textbook. So one activity, take an iron stand. So balance with the nylon thread with a weight and keep the weight on the pan. So for the pan you have to keep the weight. So till the thread will break. So you have to use nylon, rayon, cotton and silk. So which thread will hold that pan? So tightly, so and very strong we have to identify. So that's why there is an activity in your textbook related nylon. A thread, so it is used in different purpose including the cloth. The reason is it is strong, elastic and light. The third one is called polyester and acrylic. Polyester, you heard about the word. So if I wear the cloth, which one will absorb the water, whether the cotton cloth or maybe the synthetic fiber. There is an activity. Take the two types of cloth. One is called the natural cloth that is prepared with the cotton. Another you have to use any cloth related synthetic fibers. So dip in water after half an hour. Take the cloth from the water and rinse and just dry in the hot sun. What is the result? Which one will absorb more water and why? Another. So which one will dry fast? So the reason, so absorption of water is more in cotton cloth. It absorbs the sweat. So that's why the main use of cotton fibers. It's good for our health also. So that is an advisable. Cotton cloth is an advisable in all the season. The next one, so synthetic cloth will dry very fast. The reason they won't absorb the water in high amount, and also they are prepared artificially with chemical treatment. Now polyester does not get wrinkled easily. So that's why it is it is used in making cloths. That is the one reason. Does not get wrinkled easily. The one more main polyester, it is called the terylene, is an popular polyester. Maybe you heard about. So don't wear the polyester cloth while cooking the food or anything, or maybe don't come near the fire. So if you are wearing polyester, the reason it will get fire easily. So it will catch fire easily. So and then it will attach to the body also. So that's why it is very dangerous. So it gives the heat to the body also. That's why avoid polyester clothes while near the fire. Terylene is a popular polyester. Maybe you heard about, there is an just given a note about PET jar, polyethylene tetraphthalate. It is a chemical. So it is used, a chemical will be used to prepare the different types of jar. So with the different designs. So maybe you are familiar with, maybe in your kitchen there are different things and the groceries are kept inside the PET jar. That is the rice, wheat, etc. So this is nothing but a chemical related a polyester. So PET jar, polyethylene tetraphthalate, polyester, poly plus ester. The word polyester arises from the word poly plus ester. Is actually made up of the repeating units like we have studied. So each unit, it is called a polymer subunit. So in the preparation of synthetic fibers, here also polyester, poly plus ester is made up of repeating units of chemicals called ester. Their repeating subunits called the polymer. Here the repeating unit these are about the polyester. So it is very danger to wear the polyester cloth near fire because it will catch fire easily. Acrylic, so crisp and it will not wrinkle easily. Acrylic, it is also one type of chemical or synthetic fibers. So we are not using mainly the acrylic in different form we are using to prepare or to make the clothes. That is an acrylic. So related all these, there are 3 activities in your textbook. Through the video, and this lesson will be uploaded through the video will show that. So what is nylon, how the rayon is prepared, and how the polyesters and acrylic is prepared, how the formation of the thread will takes place during the chemical treatment. Everything will study in a systematic order. So while studying synthetic fiber, keep in your mind, define synthetic fiber. Synthetic fibers are the man-made fibers or artificial fibers prepared with an subunit called the polymer. The 3 types, that is called rayon, nylon, polyester and acrylic. The next one you are studying the characteristics of synthetic fibers. So these are related the types of synthetic fibers. So we have studied already natural fibers, synthetic fibers, and we have studied already the types of synthetic fibers like rayon, nylon, polyester and acrylic. So acrylic is less in weight, so that's why we are using in maximum amount acrylic cloths, but it is very dangerous to our body. So all synthetic fibers are prepared they'll undergo different processes. As I said, it's not easy. So we can observe. So we'll get easily in the market all the different types of synthetic fibers. But the preparation it takes place in a different processes and different stages. So they'll add different types of chemicals to get a raw material. So that is a raw material using petroleum products. They'll use petroleum products and then different processes will undergo and forms a word called synthetic fibers. So if we are using as petroleum as a raw material, then it is called petrochemicals. Petrochemicals, that is also it is used in the preparation of synthetic fibers. Now let us study the one more topic in our lesson. So we have completed our synthetic fibers. The step, one more step in high, that is for the synthetic fibers. The one more term is called plastics. We are very familiar with the word each and everything. So in our daily life we require plastics. Whichever it may be, it looks beautiful in color, different types of toys, different types of plastic containers available to decorate our kitchen, or maybe sitting instruments, or maybe an equipments like chair, table, etc. with a light weight, everything in a different color. So it will attract human being, everyone. So that is nothing but plastics. Whether it is good, so we will study afterward, or whether it is bad to the nature, or how it will pollute the nature, whether it is an environment friendly nature, etc. we will study at the end. Now the plastic term. So as I said, we know that different types of plastics are available. What is plastic? Plastic is one type of an polymer. As I said before, so here we have prepared the subunits. So this is the subunit where each bead is called the subunit of a polymer. So this polymer chain, so when it will combine, then it is formed a component called the synthetic fiber. So here each unit of a polymer is turned into a term called plastics. Plastics are arranged, are made up of, these are the one type of synthetic fibers made up of polymer units, and some are in linear. As I said, there is a subunit. So if I draw the diagram, you can't understand. So that's why I include the 2 or 3 videos related the preparation or synthesis of plastics. So plastics are linear in structure. Each subunit is like a bead in our chain. So it is arranged one after another in the linear format. Another it is called a cross-linked. One above the another, it is cross-linked chain. So these are nothing but a term called plastics. So as I said, in our daily life, so we we are now depend upon the 99% about all the plastic things in the nature. So because easily available, less in amount, price is very less while comparing to the different vessels, etc. And maybe it will resist fire also, looks beautiful, everything. So attract towards plastics. There are two types of plastic. Keep in your mind the question. Write the two types of plastics with example. The first one is called the thermoplastics. Thermo, temperature plastics, the word plastic which gets deformed easily. So if I burn, if I heat a plastic, it will change its main nature, or the first one, whatever it is there, it will change its nature, the original shape, that is called deformed easily on heating. So for example, there are a few examples given here. PVC, polyvinyl chloride is also a plastic, or maybe your container, or maybe toy car, or bike, etc., like home, etc. So if you burn, if you heat, so the shape will change, that is called deform, and can be bent easily. You can bend easily. If you press, it will break the entire thing. So still if you press, it will break, but can bend easily. For example, when one PVC pipe, if you want to attach to the another, so if you heat little only, not fully, if you heat little, so it will deform in nature, and then you are fixing one to the another. So that is called plastics which gets deformed easily on heating and can be bent easily. So these are called the thermoplastics. So these are called the thermoplastic. For example, if I bring chair, so here in a different type, so this is also an example. So we get a beautiful chair. So the design, everything according to that. If you heat, then they'll change in that the total, or maybe the preparation of the plastic. It is also an example for a plastic. So then what is the term called polythene? Polythene is also an example, a type of plastic where it is useful in the preparation of polythene bags. We have to avoid, we have to reduce polythene bags. Why? I will say the answer after maybe at the end of the lesson I will explain why we should avoid the plastic container or plastic materials, or maybe the whatever we are using. Next, the second one that is called thermosetting. Thermosetting example, there are two, bakelite and melamine. Bakelite is a poor conductor of electricity. So maybe you heard about maybe a cooker handle, or maybe your pan, whatever we are cooking food. So in that, so we can absorb the two materials. One is the bakelite and melamine. Bakelite is a poor conductor of electricity. In electrical switches, we are using maximum, that is a bakelite, handles of different vessels. So that is also prepared by a plastic called thermosetting. The reason why we are using bakelite and melamine as thermosetting plastics, so because they resist fire. So if you burn, if you heat, it won't melt. That property is there in one plastic, that is called the thermosetting plastic. First one is the bakelite. So example where we are using electrical switches, maybe handles of different vessels. The second one is called melamine. Melamine resists fire. So that's why it is used. So there are the different types of the melamine is present. So it will resist the fire. So on the surface, mainly we are using in a different nature. Melamine is used. This is also used in the electrical switches. So where it will resist the fire. So in that case, we are using different format and different forms of the plastic. The two major types of plastics we have studied now, thermoplastics, and it can be easily bent, thermosetting plants. So plastics, that is nothing but it will resist fire. So including these two, thermosetting plastics and thermoplastics. The nature of the plastic, it is made up of a polymer chain. It is called the synthetic fiber. These are all man-made, easily available, can be bent easily, and we can keep the food. So as I said, it will attract all human being because of its nature. So and according to its price, etc. So these are the two types of plastic, thermoplastics and thermosetting plastics. Next we will study so how it is useful and how it is danger to our body.